Ho, ho. No, wait a minute. That was last month.
That was last month.
Happy New Year, everybody. It is January 12th, 3 o'clock, 3:08. Sorry for being a little bit late today. It was because, YouTube and the Face people, they want you to create these live stream, X amount of minutes before you go live and stuff. And so that's why the Face people were kind of wanting us to so it took a little while. And also we had to prepare a little bit. I'm here with my dearest friend, Marshall Jackson, out there in the nation's capital. How's that dry January thing going for you?
Oh, it's everything I dreamed it would be. I'm having coffee at 6:09 local time with my take them to the train station coffee.
There you go.
And rocking and rolling. We'll see if I make it to day 13.
I don't think you'll make it. I honestly do not think that you will make it. I think that you will bomb at this thing. So is it 12 days of January or dry January or
dry January? I got to make it all the way through or my wife will make fun of me.
Okay. So it's the whole thing.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll keep us posted on that. We'll check in with that next week and see what's going on with that. So exciting stuff from the cruise front this month, isn't it? Hey, it's not every day that we get the world's largest cruise ship launching.
Absolutely not. Icon of the seas. It's not a pretty ship, but it looks interesting to me.
I think that I think that it looks to me like if I were to look at some of the pictures, what we have here, I feel like it looks kind of Looney Tunes. So it looks like there's like, I saw another picture, the one I found for the, that's actually, it is the same picture kind of from the side. What are we talking about here? So how many people?
Over 6,000. If you triple book a few rooms that have, space for more than one, it's got to be approaching 7,000.
Right, because you have more people in the gig going on there. Yeah, so it is, but it is the largest in the world, and it's the first ship of the Icon class cruise ship. It is 250,000 gross tonnage, 364.75 meters long. That's 1,200 feet.
She's big.
What's the beam? What does that mean?
Beam is that's the cross.
Oh, so it's wide. So it's 50 meters wide or 159 feet wide. Wow. That is a camping ground right there.
It really, since it's a ship, so you got to refer to her as a she. So she's a big lady.
She's a lady, huh? So it's nice. So it's Oprah of the seas. Is that what we're talking about?
Easy now.
So it is 5,610 passengers if you do a double occupancy.
Or 7,600 at
maximum. Yeah, if you bring the kids and all that stuff.
So counting the crew, you're closing in on 10,000 people on this.
You're 50 people shy of 10,000 people.
That is just wild.
So, and Skift wrote about it, and they have some interesting news that it's kind of a different approach because, Tommy's very green. He's not very lean, but he's definitely green, right? Trying to be. And I'm not talking about my underwear, but setting a standard for sustainability. Icon of the Seas will be Royal Caribbean's first ship powered by liquefied natural gas and fuel cell technology. According to the cruise operator, this is expected to reduce carbon emissions by approximately 30% and sulfur emissions by nearly 100%. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand the technology per se, but I know it is a good bit easier on the environment.
Yeah, 30% reduction. That's like 787 area right there when that plane came out compared to its predecessors. So, and also they're building in Finland again. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that not a good thing, or is it?
Turkey. I think the last couple of ships have been built in France. So, but Turku is a big shipyard, but have built several vessels for Royal Caribbean, and they were able to build this ship there.
Cool. I
As
like
opposed to
Finland.
France.
Yeah, in France, the doors are falling off. Oh no, that was something else. And then you've got they have 8 neighborhoods, and there are ships that have those neighborhoods now, right?
Yeah. Sure, the Oasis class, the previous largest ships in the world have the neighborhood concept, and that's what is so interesting to me. I don't know if you've sailed on one of these big ships before.
I have not. No,
but
my biggest ship was the Epic, Norwegian Epic is my
sure,
biggest.
these we've sailed on Allure 3 times, Harmony twice, I think. They really, with over 6,000 guests on board, they feel shockingly uncrowded most of the time. And
Yeah, because they are. I mean, looking at the photo we saw on top here, it looks like there are a significant amount of activities that you can do both inside and out, especially in this middle area down here.
Sure, and things are just spread out in a way that it disperses the crowds. That's the only way I could put it. They're really, if you're the least bit into logistics and engineering, they're really kind of a marvel to see.
Beautiful. So 20 floors, and it's got the Thrill Island, the Chill Island, Central Park, and which is like the thing in the middle here, looks like.
Yeah.
And you've got the Royal Promenade and the Hideaway, and 7 pools, 6 water slides, the largest water park at sea.
Wow. Looks like it. And for $2 billion, you can get all that ship.
$2 billion. Yes. So, I was going to say half seas, but, and the capacity we already talked about, record-breaking booking records. The reservations for Icon of the Seas broke records, with the company experiencing the single largest booking day ever in October. While exact figures were not disclosed, the cruise operator reported the highest number of booking in his 53-year history.
Yeah, that's
notable feat.
The ship generated a lot of interest, and the pricing on the ship would seem to support that there is big demand for it, because she's not cheap.
So you're telling me she's all right. So then what the next question is. When is your first booking?
Our next cruise is actually on Celebrity in the fall from Rome. I don't have a Royal Caribbean cruise booked at the moment, but that is something that'll change over the course of the year. I would love to sail on Icon. We'll see if it happens this year.
It looks iconic.
Hey, I think they picked that name for a reason.
Right. And they're supposed to come out with it's the first ship, and they're planning on introducing 3 ships by 2030 in this class. Wow. That's unbelievable. So where I grew up in Norway, in northern Norway, it's got 23,000 people that lives in this town. So if you get a couple of these ships laying into the to come ashore there, then we're talking.
There's your whole hometown.
No kidding. My whole town would be going. So that is cool. Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about another thing I saw today, which is kind of blew me away a little bit. We're going to have to switch gears because it's not on my browser. I had to take a screenshot to protect the names of the innocent. And there was a promo that Marriott had, Marriott and Singapore Airlines, where you could airlines status. There we go. And it was on the website, and benefits that make you soar is the promo. So let's look a little bit on that. I like promos that can make that makes promos that makes my that doesn't make me soar, but that makes me soar with an OR.
There you go.
So here's the thing. And here's what we're talking about. It says the PPS and KrisFlyer Elite Gold members can stay, it needs to stay 10 qualifying nights at participating properties within 6 months from the date of registration. And then you get accelerated to platinum tier.
Hey.
Which is the one way. We're going to go back and find here we go. Here is Kyle Olson over there at our good friend Brian's gig. And here's the promo that we're looking for. It is the one where it is to gold. Let us see. You earn once you, so here, let's see. We're more interested in achieving KrisFlyer Elite Gold, which is open to members who have requested a status match and completed 4 paid flights in any fare class other than G fare on Singapore Airlines. 4 paid flights. Sounds pretty straightforward, doesn't it?
Does to me. Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, no kidding. I was thinking the same thing, that looks something.
Yeah.
But today I saw a first guy that reported on, hey, look at me. I did the challenge and I am doing the whole he was completely rebuffed and told him like the rules were kind of crazy compared to not what we were not what I was expecting.
Not as advertised, perhaps.
Not as advertised for sure. No, not as advertised. So here's the post that I shamelessly stole from a Facebook group. And he says, has anyone had success with Singapore Airlines Accelerator Challenge? I took 4 flights recently. Haneda to Singapore, which is Tokyo to Singapore. Then he flew from Singapore to Male. And I assume he had a nice vacation in Male in the Maldives. And then flew back from Male to Singapore, and Singapore then onwards to Haneda. Customer service is telling me that those 4 segment counts as 1 flight. And here's where you lost me. In any way, shape, or form, we saw the promo. It says that you need to take 4 qualifying flights.
Sure.
And these flights, I looked it up. All of them have different flight numbers. So the man took 4 flights. And he was told, with regard to your concern about status match, we would like to clarify things about this concern. Please be advised that for upgrading to KrisFlyer Elite Gold status, you should need to fly 4 eligible Singapore Airlines flights within 6 months. But in your case, you have taken only 1 flight with 4 segments. So I think that we're lost in translation here because he took that. I think he's talking about 1 booking.
Yeah.
And the word booking is not mentioned in this offer at all. How do we feel about that?
I feel like that somebody needs a good talking to. Or,
I think Arwen's boss needs to be involved
in
here because
this
is kind of nuts. We're going to follow up on this. Obviously, this is BS, and the guy is owed his. I think it's safe to say that he did what he was supposed to do here.
Absolutely. There's nowhere in that promo it says you need 4 different reservations, is there? I don't think so.
It does not. No, I read the whole terms and conditions. There's anywhere that anybody said that's the case. All right. So let's move on to a little bit of airplane news about people ordering airplanes. And we like it when people order airplanes because that means new and nice, and you get the new airplane schmel.
Absolutely.
And that is now what our friends over at Delta has been doing. You know, the guys who wants you to spend $1 billion a year in order to get silver status.
Well, you know.
Let's see here. Here we go. Exciting! Exclamation point. Lucky's excited. Wow, that is interesting news. They have placed a firm order for 20. So Delta has placed a firm order for 20 Airbus 350-1000. So the longest version of the Airbus 350, with a further 20 options for the wide-body aircraft with no specific aircraft type. So it means that they can go down to a 900 or the 900 or the 330. Also, it looks like. And the first ones are going to be joining in as of 2026. Think they'll come out with a new seat, or are we still doing the?
Beautiful. How old is the Delta One suite now? 4 years? Pre-pen?
I don't know. You know, it's a little bit tight.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite product, to be honest with you, but
I like it better than Polaris, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, in either one of these, Polaris also. I think that it depends on the aircraft on the Polaris. I think on the triple, it's much better. I think on the 787, it's pretty relatively tight. So, but it's good news. So 20 plus 20. That's it's not. It didn't even surprise me. They already had 350s in their fleet, and it seems to be a good avenue.
No, they'll be sticking with Airbus for sure. But I guess they'll start parking some of those tired old 76s now.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan, but it's good to continue down the avenue, and it's not a bad airplane. I love flying on the 350. It's quiet as hell, and it definitely as the copycat of the 787 with the altitude, it just gives you a much better shape when you land. I love the 350. It's a great airplane. Then we've got also a grand slam for Airbus this week. Seems like there's all good news all around. So Eva Air out of Taiwan. Have you ever been on those?
No.
Yeah, they've got their business class is in between first and business class, I would say. They have really expensive wine. So they have La Grande Dame as the champagne on board, which is $230 to $240 a bottle these days.
Nice. Like American Airlines.
Yeah, American Airlines, who doesn't have champagne anymore.
I couldn't.
They have the Ferrari.
I'll show myself out. Sorry.
Yeah, no kidding. So the Ferrari, it sounds fancy, right? Oh, we're going to do the Ferrari. It sounds really fancy. It's is it a cava or is it a prosecco? I think it's a cava, something, or maybe it's something else. It's just ridiculous stuff. But these guys, they're doing 18 350s, and they have the 777 300ER right now as their main long haul airplane. And I've flown them a few times. Last time was Melinda and I flew them from Taipei to San Francisco. Great flight, and it's kind of like the same seat that American has, but a lot more leg room and a little bit more fancy, like it's more padded and nicer. And of course, 15 times more staff on board, and none of them are, barking at you if you're asking for another Cerveza there at 38,000 feet. So food is great. They have a great catering, 7-course meals on long haul flights. It's a great little airline. So 18, same version. They're doing the 1000 version of the 350, and also the 321s for regional flying, which is also an airplane that they've had for a while.
Right.
Flew the 321 from Okinawa to Taipei. Actually, they have a 321. It's called a Hello Kitty.
I've seen it.
Yeah, we were on that, and we got a Hello Kitty junk on there, and Melinda was very excited.
Wow, get some swag.
Yeah, it was the whole plane had various things in there, and of course, it's an hour flight, so of course there's a meal.
Absolutely, anywhere but America.
Yeah, and we were in coach, actually. Don't tell anybody. So they are 15 of those and 18 of the 350-1000. That's a good haul for Airbus this week, I would say.
Yeah, big time.
And Maldivian Airlines, which is an airline that people who have been to the Maldives, specifically those who have been to the Park Hyatt Maldives, right? You got to fly with Maldivian, and I flew a Dash 8. Was it a 100?
Sounds about right to me. Yeah,
that is definitely. That's a 300. I can do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's a 300. Oh, it says under the thing here. So it's a Q300. So 50-seater. And the 100's 37. So they flew from Mala down to one of the islands where we took a boat from there to the Park Hyatt. That's kind of been Maldivian for now. And they wanted to fly the 787. Doesn't say where they want to fly it, but they want 2 wide-body airplanes, and that's a big step from a Q300. A Q300 is it really called that? I thought it's just a 300.
I think it's just the Dash 8-300.
Yeah, because they put a Q on there for good measure. I mean, maybe there's like maybe
the 400.
I'm quite sure they might have made some modifications to the engines where they're allowed to call it that, but it came from the factory as a 300. There was no Q300 made for sure. So, I doesn't say for now where they're planning on flying it, but Maldivian is seeking 2-class aircraft with at least 270 seats, including 15 to 20 in the business cabin. Yeah, and to start develop a nonstop long haul network from all this. So I assume London first is always the winner. That'll be the first thing. But I agree with Gary here. That is
quite,
maybe get a couple of 320s first and see how that goes.
That's quite the fleet enhancement there.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's something.
Right, and of course it'll be dry because they're kind of heavy into that in that country. So no hooch air. I mean, I remember there was when we were waiting for that so-called Q300, which turned out to being a 300. Melinda and I were waiting for the plane, and we were there a little bit early because they bring it with the boat from the hotel, and it's like a set time, and not everybody is quite familiar with. And the airport is like there's one plane that comes in, and that's the one you're going out on. And there was a little bar next to it, so a little bit overpriced, but no, it's dry for sure. So it'll be dry for sure also for here. All right, the last thing I have today. I found this article to take a look at the best airport hotel. There was a discussion, and for those who don't know, the FTU has a couple of Hyatt groups. One is called World of Hyatt, and the other one is called Hyatt Globalist on Facebook. And the Hyatt group, World of Hyatt group, for everybody that wants to be a member, has about a little bit north of 20,000 people in the group. And the Hyatt Globalist is the largest globalist group in the world, with close to 4,500, I think, confirmed globalist members. And there was a discussion about Hyatt and footprint and where airport hotels and where they're at and things like that. And here are the list in the U.S. And on top, they put the Grand Hyatt in San Francisco. I think that's pretty decent assessment right there. So before we continue the list, what's your favorite airport hotel in these United States?
I'll tell you, it depends on the reason I need to be there. But the Hyatt, Grand Hyatt there, is it a Grand Hyatt DFW? The one in
it's a nice hotel. There's both. There's a Grand Hyatt DFW that's in the terminal, and then around the corner you have the Hyatt Regency, which is always like half the price. And you come into like the lower level, you just walk through the parking garage, and boom, it's right there.
Right. Well, I'm a fan of the one in the terminal.
Yeah, me too. I think that's a nice hotel.
And I've really come to be fond of the Orlando, the Hyatt and the
Grand Cypress. Is that what it's called?
No, it's something. I think it's just a Hyatt Regency Orlando International.
Let's go down the list and see if we can find it. The Grand Hyatt in San Francisco has got great runway views, and it's also fairly new.
I tend to think that picture at the top of the page may be the Orlando Airport Hyatt, but I'm not positive. Anyway,
this is definitely SFO because I can see the
I know that one. I'm talking about up above.
Up above. Okay, let's go down and see. Take a look. Here it is. Here's the DFW one.
Yeah.
And it's inside the terminal. It's definitely most convenient there, and which means that the first two goes to Hyatt. It seems like all of this is upgraded points. We seem to be a little bit Hyatt centric, not the actual Hyatt centric brand, but there you have it. Third place, the TWA Hotel at JFK. Have you stayed there?
I have not.
Same here. Never been.
I'd love to go just to see it, but
I mean it's pretty pricey. You pay for the convenience of being inside of the terminal. Right?
Oh, sure. And plus, I want to drink in the Constellation too. So.
You want to get drink and get constipation as well. And then also they have that pool on top there. Not this time of year, but in the summer maybe. In the fourth place, it's kind of weird. This is where bloggers meet the wall here. The Venetian in Las Vegas, they're putting at it's somewhat of an unexpected member. It could be any hotel on the Strip. And I can tell you one thing, that the Venetian is definitely not the best hotel, but also definitely not the closest. No. All right. So, the H Hotel, Los Angeles, Curia Collection by Hilton, LA International Airport.
Oh, never been.
I haven't even heard of that one.
I did not. Me either.
Let's take a look at the, what is it called? H Hotel LAX. See where that is. Where is the H Hotel? So it is. Okay, so you have the Hyatt is obviously the most convenient by far.
Right.
So if you fly Southwest to Terminal 1, which I do a lot because I live in California, Northern California, so kind of it always includes a trip. Is there a Chick-fil-A in there? I don't think so.
I had no idea.
I had no
haven't
idea
been in
either.
that terminal in a decade.
Yeah, so you just walk across the crosswalk here, and then you walk past all of the Uber stuff, and then you're at the Hyatt. So it seems like it's the next block over where you have, the various Hilton hotels here, and there's the Courtyard, and then there's the Sheraton. I'm not familiar with that hotel. I haven't stayed there, but
me either.
Yeah. And then the Hyatt next door is in Sixth Place. I wouldn't be able to tell you about the H Hotel. I've never heard of it before. And then this is one we talked about earlier today, which is the Westin in Detroit. And what's cool with that one is that you have your own security checkpoint.
That's exactly what I was going to mention.
That's pretty cool. And it's been like that for a long time. I don't remember the last time I was there. It must be like 20 years ago. And it was still there. Before, when I had a real job, I was there, stayed over, because Detroit at that point was not where you stayed overnight downtown. Yeah, so it was okay going to the client and then going back to the airport.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. There we go. The Hyatt Regency Orlando International Airport.
Yes.
That's the one you were talking about.
It is. It is a convenient place for if you're flying in pre-cruise and you're coming in late the night before, get a room at that hotel, get off your airplane, get your bag, walk straight to the hotel, and go to sleep. And then same thing on the reverse side too. Beautiful.
So here, the next one on the list is the Los Angeles Airport Marriott. And I kind of like that hotel. I haven't stayed since before the pandemic. It's like down the road. I just like the Hyatt because you can walk there from any terminal.
Sure. And I haven't stayed at this. I'm sure it's been renovated since I was there. I thought the rooms were a little small, but it's
right. Yeah, I was there. I like the pool in the courtyard, the one we see there. Kind of the hotel is like built around that courtyard, and I think that's cool.
Absolutely.
I haven't stayed since the Hyatt opened. It's been pointless for me. I don't even think about it. And here is the Intercontinental in Minneapolis, and this one is like in that horseshoe, in the middle of that horseshoe between the terminals. And also you see the bridge there on the right, so you don't even walk outside. It's also I've stayed there once, and it's not really a place where I was flying out early in the morning, and Rudy dropped me off there. And
that's a great reason to stay there. That's about the only one.
Right. And then we got the Tampa Airport Marriott. Have you stayed there?
I have not. I have heard good things about it. My in-laws live in Tampa, so I haven't had occasion to hotel by the airport there. So.
Right. Yeah, I haven't stayed there either. I'm not a big Florida guy. Since when I was in Chicago, I went to Florida all the time. Now that we moved to California, I have no reason to go to Florida anymore, other than to get on a cruise, of course.
Yeah, I do hear good things about it, and especially from people that I trust that are picky about hotels. They've said good stuff about that. So if you needed one,
good times.
Early flight.
All right, and next one is Denver Airport, and there's only one hotel there. Westin is the only game in town. If you're going to stay somewhere else, it's a long shuttle ride,
just like everything there. But and remember, don't be the pilot guy that was standing in front of the window naked. You can't see in. You remember that?
No kidding.
Nope.
What was that?
As a United pilot was talking on his cell phone naked in front of the window.
I have no idea. I haven't heard about that. I got to look that up next week.
Yeah, he got like a bunch of cop commandos came in and arrested him. Thought he was flashing everybody.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's out there. It got blogged about.
When was this?
Oh, pre-COVID.
Okay, I gotta look. I gotta go to Gary's blog. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm near certain Gary wrote about that.
All right, we're in Boston Logan. The most convenient property is the Hilton.
Huh.
Never stayed at a hotel at Logan.
Me either.
Pittsburgh is the Hyatt Regency. We know about that, and I think that's the go-to. I haven't stayed there either, but I know where it is. I had a meeting there, so. Sure. But I think you do have to take a shuttle. Is it the closest hotel at all in
I
Regions.
really think so. There's not much around that airport
There's not much
in
around.
my recollection.
Except for the hockey team. It's just,
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, there is.
It's kind of in the traffic circle.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, so it is by far. That is the closest. So it's just right across the street. Yeah, so that's the ticket here. And so that's Hyatt wins that as well. The Westin Atlanta Airport. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Oh, hell no.
No, not hardly.
I don't think so.
No,
Somebody's
there's a Marriott and a Renaissance that you.
Well, the thing is that with all the Marriotts and the Renaissance, you just hop on that little thing that goes to the rent-a-car place. You don't have to take a shuttle.
Absolutely.
This is a swing and a miss for whoever wrote this. What was this guy's name again? Stephen Au. I don't know what to tell you, Stephen, but if you're watching, which is highly, hopefully unlikely, you have a good list, but that one is definitely not a winner. That you've got there's a Renaissance. There's two Renaissance. The one I stayed the last time, the one over by Delta headquarters, and I stayed there because I was going to Delta in the morning, so it was easy for me to walk over there.
Not a bad hotel, really.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, I had that 350 parked right, and that's when I figured out that Delta has a lot more work to do to work on their utilization of their airplanes, because that 350 was there at 8 p.m. when I got there the night before. And when I left in the morning at 9:30, it was still there. And it was just parked there. It wasn't doing any work to it.
Yeah, maybe it was resting.
Yeah, maybe it was tired. all that Japan flying there. All right, let's see. Westin Atlanta Airport is a fail. I think you got the Lowe's Hotel in Chicago, which used to be the Intercontinental. Which is right next to, you can actually see it, the Capitol Grill. And the reason I went, my office was right around the block from there. So we went to Capitol Grill for lunch.
I know where
that $14.99 3-course meal that they had daily there. So this was obviously a long time ago. I quit my real job in 2013, but like 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we went there. When I was in Chicago, we went there like 2-3 times a week. So, but it's a shuttle ride, right? So it's a nice hotel. It's newly refurbished after it was an Intercontinental, but it's definitely not convenient.
No. I guess it's still the Hilton that's connected.
The Hilton is we'll see if the Hilton is on the list here, because I didn't actually go through this list. Then we have the Hyatt House Denver Airport, which is the second most convenient hotel.
Okay.
And the Hyatt House is the first. You when you get on the shuttle and you start going down the street there, it is the first building structure you get to after the rent-a-car place. It's the Hyatt House. It's the first hotel that you can get to. So it's if you don't want to pay the Westin can be hundreds of dollars. If you want to pay $100, then that's
Hyatt House it is.
Then we have the Houston Airport. Yeah, that one's the most convenient in Houston for sure. Did you go to any of those Continental Megadoos?
No.
Yeah, where the cigar man, he was pissed at me. I don't know. This is before your time, but back then, he claimed he was I'm the inventor of the Megadoo. And it was like, because there were so many people down there. And I will tell you, he did a good job with that event. The Continental did Larry Kellner was there himself, and they had a 757 that they flew everybody around on a joyride and whatnot. And we stayed there. That's where the thing was.
Good hotel. I've been there.
It's solid. It's a little bit tired. I haven't stayed in a long time, but I don't think they've done anything with it. I think it's still a little bit tired. Then we've got the San Francisco Marriott, the waterfront one. No, thank you. And then they've got the Newark Liberty International Airport Marriott, which is the only one that's walkable from the terminal. You walk across the parking lot. You stay there?
I have stayed there. It's been a few years, but if you got to stay next to Newark, or if you got an early flight or something like that.
Same here. And this was in the discussion in the Hyatt group I was telling you about. And this was the gripe. Why is there no Hyatt next to Newark Airport? You got to do a shuttle. Well, I will tell you, Melinda and I stay there. We got in at like midnight from California, and we didn't want to go into Manhattan. And it is like 2018.
Yeah.
2019, there was an FTU in New York.
Yeah.
It is worn out. All right, Hilton JFK, not familiar with that. Seattle Airport Marriott. Yeah, that's where we had the FTU in 2014 or 15. It's nice on the inside, a little bit noisy, but and also they don't have any suites there. So if you are, even says here, 6 suites. Then they've got the Radisson Hotel Seattle Airport. I don't know what the hell that's about, but Philadelphia Airport Marriott and LaGuardia Marriott. I don't know. So I think that what they're forgetting to mention here is obviously the Hilton, like we talked about in Chicago, which is you don't even walk outside, which is, these days it's like, -10 in Chicago, which is obviously a major challenge. You're right. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I were to say that that's the name of the game, but be that as it may, I think that was a good overview, even though I disagree with a lot of that. But it kind of feels like the Hyatt footprint is kind of starting to spread. You got the best hotel in, by far the most convenient and best hotel in San Francisco. Same thing in LA. Same thing in what was the last one we were talking about? We were talking about Orlando, right? We were talking about Dallas. DFW has 2 of them are on the only 2.
And it's by train or foot.
Right. And yeah, they're on the grounds. It's the same thing as it is. It's the same thing as it is in Denver. It's pretty darn far from the airport grounds to anything nearby DFW.
No doubt.
And in Florida, they have Orlando as the closest. And also, isn't there in Tampa, isn't there a Grand Hyatt that's pretty close to the airport?
There is. We did an FTU there several years ago.
Right. That's the first FTU that I didn't go to because I was sick that week and I got a pretty, let's not.
I was there. That was a good one. Absolutely.
Yeah, Melinda went down. I didn't go there myself. That kind of sucked, but there you have it. And so Hyatt, it kind of feels like it has a balance. You're looking at honorable mention. So what do we have at Dulles? What is there? What do we have at Dulles?
Well, there's a Marriott on the grounds, old school Dulles Marriott.
Then you've got for Reagan, you've got there's a lot, like right across the bridge.
There's a couple of Marriotts. There's
the Hyatt Regency is pretty big.
Yeah.
So I think that right there, I would, it's not going to be rocking and roll. Oh, you got the Ritz-Carlton Pentagon City. I was looking at that for when we're going to DC at the end of next month for the FTU, and it was like $180.
It's not bad.
Is it passable? Have you been there?
Oh yeah, I've stayed there during my Atlanta career. So this was pre-pandemic.
Did they have a shuttle there?
Don't recall a shuttle to and from the airport.
Right.
It doesn't mean there isn't one, but it's an easy walk to Metro. It's 2 Metro stops.
Right.
I
think that for domestic hotels, it feels like it's a little. Hyatt has. Florida Hyatt is dominating on the West Coast. Hyatt is dominating, and you've got Pittsburgh, which nobody cares about, and what else do we have? So I think that there's a good balance. I wouldn't say some people, Hyatt's footprint, blah, 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 blah. It's like I think that it's fairly balanced. And looking at the airports in Europe, also the major ones. It seems like, the dominating, if we were to look at the 7 biggest one for Heathrow, it's definitely a Hilton paradise there. You've got Terminal 2 and 3 is the Hilton Garden Inn, which I love that place. Brand new, rooms are great, staff is great, and you got if you get a room for the southern runway, which is where the ramp right in front of the hotel is where all the 380s are lined up. So you got Singapore and Etihad's and Emirates and all those guys are there. And there's also the one over at Terminal 4, which is a regular Hilton. It's a little bit more tired, but they got a club lounge, which is kind of cool. Terminal 5 is the Sofitel, and it's kind of overpriced. and also it's just a good redemption over there at that Hilton. So we stayed right before Christmas. Melinda and I, we stayed at that Hilton. You might as well stay at the Hilton if you have a little bit of time at Paddington Station, because you take that train between, and it's often in the morning there's a wait. Actually, it was just me, because my flight was disrupted on my way over here. Then for Paris, it's the Sheraton. That's the most convenient.
Yep. Stayed there last year. No, 2 years ago now, November 22,
right
before flying back.
Which is a solid hotel. The club lounge is nice.
Yeah.
Tiny, but it's solid. I like that. And you can also go in the restaurant and eat breakfast if you're platinum and above at that place. And then you've got Frankfurt. It's also the Sheraton, and they've actually split it in two. That hotel used to be 1,100 rooms, and they have divided that hotel into two. So it's a Marriott on one side and Sheraton on the other.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Yeah, it's been a long time since I was a
Yeah, I haven't stayed there since they did that. But well, actually, I've stayed there once. I stayed at the Sheraton part. I had no idea that they did. And then also, if you're a Hilton person, you just walk through that corridor there where you kind of go when you come from the terminal, and you would make a ride into the Sheraton. You just keep going straight into the little shopping mall where the train station, the ICE long distance train, and it's ICE is what the Germans want you to call it. They hate it when you call it the ICE, because it's the Intercity Express, the fast train in Germany.
Okay.
Now you've got a Hilton Garden Inn and a regular Hilton in that square, so it's like 5-6 minutes extra.
Yeah, it's a lot different since I've been to Frankfurt.
Yeah, and then for Milan Malpensa, it is the Sheraton, which is an interesting room. The rooms are enormous. It looks like an industrial building that they made into a hotel, and the ceiling height is ridiculously high, and the rooms are huge, and there's nothing in them. It's really strange. And then the last one I want to do is Rome, which I'm sure you've stayed at Rome at that Hilton that's connected to the terminal.
One time. Absolutely.
Yeah, you go on a cruise, and when Linda and I, when we were going out of Civitavecchia in Rome there for a cruise, I think we stayed there both times we went on cruise. We've taken 2 cruises out. Well, wait a minute, no, we took 1 cruise out of there, and we took another one out of Barcelona. So, anyways, that's enough rambling for today. That's 42 minutes of rambling.
Well, hey, that's not pretty good. Absolutely,
and
I think so too.
Yeah. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Wasn't a lot of people today. I think it's better to do this on Thursdays. But really happy that the FTU channel, so some good news on our YouTube channel, has grown significantly. We've had a couple of videos that have taken off. And so we now passed 3,000 subscribers on YouTube this week.
Rocking and rolling.
Pretty cool. So hopefully you are watching this video over there. And feel free to contact us if there are any things that you want to chat about. And Marshall, thanks for joining, and enjoy the weekend. Enjoy No Hooch Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see if I make it through the weekend. I think I've done pretty good. So
yeah, I got a Christmas. My Rotary Christmas party was postponed, and that's tomorrow night. So I think that'll be the end of my dry January.
More than likely.
Yeah, I'm not going to suck on a soda pop with all those idiots being drunk around me. I don't think that's going to, unless if there is a collective dry January, we'll see.
And I'm going to bet there isn't.
Yeah, I doubt it. Free hooch means usually that somebody will be partaking.
Somebody's going to show up.
Beautiful. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Marshall.
Yeah.